and welcome to the final Hellaweight podcast of 2019, the final Hellaweight podcast of the decade. This is a Heavy New Year! Let me get started by saying I absolutely detest Christmas. I am a enormous Scrooge when it comes to festivities over the winter. I don't really like anything. Everywhere closes. I just want to get on with my life. I just want to get to the gym. I just want to get to the supermarket. I don't want to buy gifts. I don't want to receive gifts. It's not a fun time. Some of you like it. Some of you have a great time. I'm sorry about that. But the good news is it's over now. It's over and done with. It is now the 27th of December when I'm recording this. It will soon be the 31st of December, the final day of the year, and we will be headlong into 2020, which is a great place to start, all right? It's a great place to continue. I'm feeling very positive. I'm feeling very upbeat about the future. Reflecting on 2019, it's been an incredible year for me. I don't often get to say that at the end of a year. I sometimes do blog post retrospectives and things like that, and I don't often get to say that the year has been incredibly kind to me, but this year has, and a lot of really exciting things have happened. I now own my own home, which is something I couldn't really say last year. I now I'm much stronger than I was last year. I've more than doubled my deadlift. I've more than doubled and nearly tripled my squat. I've tripled, nearly quadrupled my overhead press. You know, I'm much stronger. I've enjoyed newbie gains for a year, which is great. I've put on weight. A lot of it's been muscle. Some of it's been fat. I plan to continue cutting through that in the new year. That's still the goal. So I'm not going to wait until the new year just to do a load of new things. I think we're going to carry on. So the new year, the plan is to cut body fat again, continue. But in the process of cutting, I've actually had some really exciting strength gains, which is rare. So I've PB'd a few times. Even though I am controlling my calories more now and eating less and generally trying to cut body fat with my diet. It's been very exciting. I've left Nuffield Health, which is the gym I started at the beginning of the year. I've left my old job, and that's all done now. I will start a new job in January, and that will also be exciting. It will be doing similar sort of stuff to the stuff I used to do at my old job, but it pays a bit better, and hopefully I should enjoy it a bit more. It's going to mean a few changes to my training. I'm going to have to train first thing in the morning a few times, which I wouldn't have done before, and I might train at lunchtime sometimes as well. I'm going to join a gym that's quite close to the office and really go from there and see how that goes. That's great news for me. It's gonna mean my training changes slightly, but one of the really cool things is that training always comes first, and that is like a mantra that you just have to stick to. You have to make your plans around it. You know, people ask how you find the time, and the truth is you don't really find the time. You sacrifice stuff for the time. So I'm getting up earlier. I'm having to not do certain social engagements. I don't watch television anymore. I don't get to read as much as I'd like to, but I am able to do the training, which is really, really cool, and I enjoy it and I appreciate it. So, going to keep on doing that for the new year. That's really my only resolution. There's a few things here and there. I set out with some really bold resolutions last year. I had some fitness resolutions. I'm not going to go over those again. We've talked about those in detail. and I hit every strength goal that I set myself last year. I had a resolution to read a certain number of books, which I've absolutely smashed. I wanted to read 2 books a month, so 24 books a year. I think I'm on book 34 at the moment, which is great going. It's been great for that aspect. I feel better for it. What are we going to do next year? So next year, I would like to get my deadlift to, I don't know, 250 perhaps. That would be exciting. I'd like to squat 210, 220. I don't know. It's too early to call at this time because I'm quite close to 200 already. So I don't feel like I want to. I feel like on a really, really good day, I could squat 200 for 1 rep and would feel great about it. And therefore, I don't want to set my threshold just too soon. I'd like to reach some aesthetic goals, actually, next year. I'd like to cut a lot of body fat. I'd like to have visible sort of arm definition would be really good for me. I don't think I'm going to get abs next year. I'm not that hopeful. But I am going to lose a bit of body fat, and I am going to maintain and improve that strength. I'm close to finishing my coursework for personal trainer course that I started last year. So that's the theory written part of that. There's some practical parts to do, but mainly the goal for me for that next year is to finish it. So to get that personal trainer qualification next year. And also we're in the sort of early planning stages of building a home gym that will allow me to train at any time of my choosing, providing I'm at home. I'll probably keep up commercial gym membership for a bit of time, just because that will be, convenient when I'm out and at work and things like that. But a home gym would be really cool because it would mean that I could train early in the morning, anytime, day or night, and then I don't have to worry about getting there or whether it's open, and I can make the place suit me, I could start to do some of that stuff. Actually, if I do build that home gym, it will be really cool to start doing some YouTube stuff. That'd be great. What else? 2020 is the year of plans, right? So if you're a member of the Hello Weights community on Facebook, tell me your plans. I want to hear them from you, because part of accountability for reaching your goals is making them real, and the only way you're going to make them real is if you tell people about them. If you write them down, if they exist in the real world, then they're something you can either achieve or not achieve, and therefore, it's practical to tell people about them. I'm really proud of a few people, you know who you are, who have made significant differences in their life this year through changing their health and fitness habits. They have begun on a journey which will improve their life immeasurably, and they've done incredible things. And as I say, you know who you are. I'm not going to name and shame you, but you've done that great. Keep it up. What else? Next year, Next year, we're going to do a lot more interviews for Hello Weights. We had some really good feedback from the ones we did this year. I've got loads of people I really want to interview. We did a few towards the end of the year, and then they sort of petered out because the touring calendar just sort of stops. And then that makes it really, really hard to actually get in front of people. Also, there's a few phone interviews that I need to schedule, and I just haven't done that. So we will get there. We're going to have a few exciting interviews. Maybe I'd like to alternate it as interview one week, and then panel the next week, and that's what this is, where we just sort of talk about things, and then an interview the following week, and then a panel. But it's always really, really good to have guests on and to talk about exciting things. If you're in the UK, the end of the year is exciting and energizing for strength reasons, because the world's strongest man is on, as well as the qualifiers for that event. They're all on Channel 5. You may see the Europes. I was at the Europes, the Europe Strongest Man earlier this year. I was at the First Direct Arena in Leeds. I watched that live. That was fantastic. I will do that again. 2020, it's back in the First Direct Arena, and I had such a good time watching Europe Strongmen. The incredibly strong people like Mateusz Kieliszkowski and Thor. And Eddie Hall was there, but he was hosting. He's retired now, so and you just have this enormous litany of very, very strong people who are undoubtedly going to be at World's Strongest Man, and you get to see that live, which is great. Thor won World's Strongest Man last year. He's sort of tapered off since the not World's Strongest Man. He won Europe's Strongest Man, and he's sort of tapered off since Worlds because he didn't win the Worlds. The winner at the World's Strongest Man, spoiler alert, if you don't already know, cover your ears, was Martins Licis of the USA. So Martins did a fantastic job. He's injured at the moment, and he's sort of been coming back from injury, and that's been a really interesting and inspirational story. But he won the Worlds earlier this year. And it was kind of controversial actually, because he, although went in very strong and has trained very well, the big contenders that people were expecting to do incredibly well, like Thor and Brian Shaw, and people like that, they didn't place as well as expected, and we had a sort of different panel, and there's some talk about whether that was exercise selection, as well as like the heat and venue and things like that, that led that to be the outcome that it was. But still, Martins is great. He's got a fantastic YouTube channel. He's very strong. He's very dedicated. He's very likable, and he's. It's great that he's now got a World's Strongest Man title under his belt. I'm still rooting for Brian Shaw to get the 5th World's Strongest Man title, so he would have the record for the most wins at World's Strongest Man. He would be the greatest strongman of all time at that, and I would love to see Brian do that, and it'll be interesting to see how he does next year. While we're on the subject of strongman, you heard it here first. I will compete in my first ever amateur strongman competition in 2020. That's something I've wanted to do since I started this journey last year, and it's exciting to be able to do it first. I'm nervous, of course. I'm nervous because there's some very big, strong boys out there, especially at the amateur level. However, I'm willing to give it a try. It would be really, really cool to do some epic strongman stuff, and to continue to better myself and to prove to myself that I can do this, which will be really, really cool. There's band goals for next year. I don't really want to turn this into a podcast about me. I want to turn it into a podcast about strength. So I'm not going to talk about the band goals, but obviously keep an eye on the social media feeds for those updates if you're interested in that sort of thing. When it comes to strength, one thing that's really worked for me this year is simplicity. I've been doing starting strength for just over a year, since I started, really, and their programming of compound movements, squat, press, deadlift, repeat, has been tremendously successful for me. I did try something called the Bridge, which you might remember me talking about in an earlier episode. It's like a RPE based program, so you basically choose how you're feeling today and then what you're going to do based on that. But the complexity of that, combined with the times when I just wouldn't push through a plateau, just led to a series of like declining strength. I'm sure you can do the bridge with great success, but I had real trouble with it. And eventually I just got back into when trying to get back into like the spirit of lifting and the regularity and the routine of being there 3 times a week, and how that would feel my body after like an illness. I sort of resigned myself to take it easy for a week, just do those compound movements and then come through with those. And I just kept doing them, and I was getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And I had a real comeback moment. It was like a Rocky moment, right? And so the simplicity of that is part of what has been so successful for me this year. So I'm going to do more of that. What I've recently taken to doing is doing those compound moves as a core part of every session. And then every other session, I will, like, instead of a deadlift, I'll do a different back movement, usually like a row or a something like that. A pull down, potentially. Usually I do a pull down as well as a row, but something that isn't a deadlift, right? And sometimes I will alternate with not max squats, right? So instead of going up to the sort of max squat that I would normally be doing around 150, 160, I will back off a bit, go to 120, 130 for my sets. And then I will do something later in the workout that is another leg movement. So a leg press, the prowler, the sled, that sort of stuff has always been really successful. The yoke. Sometimes I'll just do some strongman shit because that's, keeps it interesting, keeps it exciting, but it has to challenge the legs. So, and just hitting the legs from sort of different angles like that has been really, worthwhile for me. I hit the prowler really hard actually just after Christmas, and it was hell. It was hell on earth, and the bad news about something being hell on earth when you're in the gym is that it means you should do a lot more of it, basically. If it kills you, if it's really hard, then that's it. You found it. You found the one. Go for it, So I can see a lot more sled in the future for me and for anyone I train with. But, yeah, that's been fun. That the secret really has been simplicity. So I'm looking forward to taking a few people with me next year. So when I do pass the personal trainer qualification, I'm not really going to be taking on clients, not professionally. I don't have the time, and I don't want to do it as a full-time job. It doesn't pay as much as I would get from doing a different job, and so it's not worth doing, but it's a qualification I want. However, I will probably be taking on a few friends as sort of unpaid clients, if you like, just to get them further along and to get my experience up a bit more. So that'll be pretty exciting. Keep them to a routine and then do a few sessions with them, make sure they're getting stronger as well, which will be really, really cool. So I want to hear about your week, right? I want to hear about when you hit 2020, when you bust into the new year and you start like you mean to carry on. It's next week, remember? How are you going to do it? What are you going to do? What are you going to change? What's your plan? Now's the time to start thinking about that. Write it down. Get a whiteboard, put it on your wall. Write a plan every week and do as much of it as you can. If you don't do all of it, that's fine. But doing some of it is cool, right? So if you hadn't written it down and started doing it, you would have done none of it. So write it down. Have a plan. Structure your plans in such a way that they're achievable and the world doesn't just slip on past you. If you keep a calendar, you should keep a calendar, they're useful. Book your time out for things you want to achieve. If that means booking time out to be in the gym for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, so be it. If that means book your time out to write music, to do art, to read, to achieve things that you want to achieve next year, do it. It's okay. It's your time. You get to choose what you do with it. And make it count for 2020, because there's never a better time to start. The new year is going to be... It's an interesting time, right? So we talked about this in the last podcast. Christmas sort of beats you down for a bit and tells you to spend a load of money and eat loads of food. And then the new year tells you you've been really bad and that you need to lose weight. And here's the stuff you need to buy to lose weight, right? And actually, most of it is bullshit. Most of it, you're going to see things on the BBC and ITV and Sky, which are things like, here's the top 10 diets, and here is the fastest way to lose weight, and this one exercise for 10 minutes a day can lose 6 stone a year. And it's all shit. It's all bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. They're phonies. They're hacks. They're frauds. They want to separate you from your money. They don't care about your health. All right? They don't care about you. Remember that. They care about money. They don't care about you. All right? All you need to do, all you need to remember, is that you need to have a plan. If you're going to eat differently to change your body in some way, you're going to bulk, you're going to put on weight, you're going to put on muscle mass, you need to eat more. If you want to lose weight, you need to eat less, but not... Don't be stupid about it. You don't need to eat just cabbage soup. You don't need to eat keto. You don't need to eat just meat or just fat. You don't need to go on a water fast. All of these things, they're either hacks or tools or tricks, right? And they have... Some of them work and they have different levels of success, but really, keep a food diary. Try and get some vegetables with every meal. Increase the amount of protein you're eating. Decrease the amount of fat. Moderate your carbs, having more on training days and less on non-training days. Work out how many calories you need to lose weight, not how many you need for a 25-year-old man who's 6 foot tall. Don't work it out like that. Work out how many you need, right? If you're 20 stone, to sustain your body weight, it's going to be like 4,000 calories a day that would sustain that, right? So you don't need to eat 2,000. You don't cut that in half because you'll starve yourself. You only need to eat like 3,500 would be fine. But there are lots of calculators online. Find them, use them, and then cut your calories from there. But try and keep your protein high. And make sure that you keep working out, because exercise is it's not just for burning calories. That's not what it's for. It's for challenging your body repeatedly and regularly and giving it a reason to hold on to muscle, to improve your cardiovascular efficiency. And it has a host of hormonal benefits as well, right? It's going to keep you balanced. You're going to be happier. You're going to feel better. You're going to sleep better. So, keep the exercise there. Don't just diet out of it, because that's only half the solution. And then keep doing it. That's the hard part, right? Just keep doing it. Keep on. Keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on. Keep doing it. Make sure that you're weighing in every couple of weeks, every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks if you're trying to lose fat. If you're trying to gain as well, weighing in, semi-regularly. And if necessary, adjusting your diet after you've reached significant weight change steps. Like when you're 10 pounds down, maybe it's time to, take the calories down a little bit. When you're 20 pounds down, take them down a bit more, etc. Because you're going to need less to sustain that mass. But also, as you put on muscle, you're going to need more to sustain that mass. So keep that in mind, all right? But just beware of anyone trying to sell you the solution. Because often you'll find that the things that they're trying to sell you just aren't solutions at all, because you don't really make money from making people thin. What you make money for is selling somebody something that they need to keep having to stay thin, right? So Weight Watchers only makes money when you keep going to meetings. So really, although you need to see progress, they really want to keep you going to meetings. And so the whole thing's structured like that. Exercise equipment, come on, man. Most of it's bullshit. You don't need like an ab master, a thigh master, a roller for your abs. You don't need that home equipment. Most people don't use them. Most people buy them and then they sit there rotting away in a cupboard. Get yourself a gym membership. Lift weights. Eat well. Stay strong. And stay heavy. I'll see you next year.